In the small town of Maplewood, where the seasons painted the landscape with vibrant colors and the air was often filled with the scent of blooming flowers, lived a young woman named Clara. She was 28, a graphic designer by trade, yet she felt trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and stagnation. Each day began with the same routine: waking up, staring at her computer screen, and feeling overwhelmed by the weight of her aspirations that seemed just out of reach. Clara had dreams of starting her own design firm, but the fear of failure loomed over her like a dark cloud. One crisp Monday morning, Clara woke up with a flicker of determination. It was the start of a new week, and she decided that today would be different. She brewed her usual cup of coffee, its rich aroma filling her small kitchen, and sat down at her desk. Instead of diving into her usual list of daunting tasks, she took a moment to reflect on what she could accomplish in just a single day. She recalled a quote she had once read: "Small wins lead to big victories." Inspired, she decided to set a modest goal for herself: to redesign her personal website. Clara had been meaning to update her portfolio for months, but each time she sat down to work on it, her inner critic would drown out her creativity. "It's not good enough," it whispered. "What if no one likes it?" But today, she pushed those thoughts aside and opened her design software. She started with a simple layout, focusing on colors that resonated with her personality: soft blues and warm yellows. As she clicked and dragged, she felt a rush of excitement. She was creating something that represented her, something she could be proud of. Time slipped away as she lost herself in the project. Hours passed, and before she knew it, the sun was setting, casting a golden glow through her window. Clara leaned back in her chair, her heart racing as she gazed at the finished product. It wasn't just a website, it was a reflection of her journey, her style, and her aspirations. She felt a sense of accomplishment wash over her, a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time. With a confident click, she published the site, and in that moment, she felt a shift within herself, a small win that ignited a spark of motivation. The next day, Clara decided to share her new website on social media. She hesitated at first, her fingers hovering over the keyboard, but she reminded herself that this was a step forward. As she hit post, a wave of vulnerability washed over her. What if no one cared? But to her surprise, the reactions started pouring in. Friends, colleagues, and even a few strangers began to comment, complimenting her design and expressing interest in her work. Each notification felt like a small cheer, boosting her confidence and encouraging her to keep going. As the days turned into weeks, Clara found herself on a roll. The small win of redesigning her website had sparked a chain reaction. She began to take on freelance projects, each one building her portfolio further. With every completed task, her self-belief grew stronger. She started networking with other designers, attending workshops, and even joined a local entrepreneurial group. Clara was no longer just a graphic designer. She was becoming a creator, an innovator, and a woman with a vision. Among those who noticed Clara's transformation was her neighbor, Mrs. Thompson, an elderly woman with a passion for gardening. One afternoon, as Clara was working on her latest project, she heard a gentle knock at her door. It was Mrs. Thompson, holding a basket filled with freshly picked tomatoes and herbs. "I thought you could use some fresh ingredients for dinner," she said with a warm smile. Clara invited her in, and as they chatted, Mrs. Thompson shared her own story of overcoming adversity. She had once been a successful landscape architect, but had faced numerous challenges that forced her to start over. Inspired by Clara's newfound energy, Mrs. Thompson confided that she had always wanted to host a community garden workshop, but lacked the confidence to do so. Clara, feeling a surge of encouragement from her own journey, suggested they collaborate. "Let's do it together," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. They spent the next few weeks planning, designing flyers, and promoting the workshop on social media. The small win that had transformed Clara's mindset now had the potential to inspire others. On the day of the workshop, the community center buzzed with excitement. Clara and Mrs. Thompson set up tables filled with pots, soil, and seeds, ready to share their knowledge with eager participants. As they welcomed attendees, Clara felt a sense of purpose. She was not just teaching. She was empowering others to embrace their passions, just as she had done. The workshop was a resounding success. People laughed, learned, and shared their own stories of growth and resilience. Clara watched as Mrs. Thompson flourished, her confidence shining as she guided the group. In that moment, Clara realized that her small win had not only changed her life, but had also created a ripple effect in the lives of others. The power of one small victory had transformed into a collective celebration of creativity and community. As weeks turned into months, Clara's design firm began to take shape. She had gained clients, built a network, and inspired those around her. Every small win she achieved fueled her motivation, pushing her to dream bigger. She learned that success was not just about grand achievements, but also about the journey, the connections made, and the impact on others. In Maplewood, Clara became a beacon of hope and inspiration. She often reflected on that one small win, the redesign of her website, that had sparked a transformation. It was a reminder that sometimes all it takes is a single step, a small victory, to set in motion a series of events that can change the course of one's life. Clara had not only found her path, but had also helped others discover theirs, proving that the power of small wins can indeed lead to greater success and inspire a community to thrive.